What's going on? It's Javan Johnson here. You're watching episode number 97 of About 10 Minutes. In last week's episode, I talked about relationships, and I kind of want to continue a little bit, add on a little bit to what I was talking about last week, because sometimes what can happen is, two people can really like each other, and they can be really focused on relationship. I really like this person, but it's important for them to have a friendship as well. It's important for them to be able to be comfortable with that person, so they can be comfortable and normal around each other. Because you know how it can be when two people like each other. It's like they open up to an extent, but it's kind of like they're cautious. Like, okay, if they out eating somewhere, it's like, okay, well, I gotta be careful with the way that I eat, or I gotta be careful with the way I laugh, because I don't want to laugh. I don't want to seem like I'm too goofy or this or that. So it can vary from person to person. Well, sometimes people can be more guarded. Can be more cautious and things of that nature. But it's important, to actually be friends with that person, to really, to really know that person very well. And so that's something to keep in mind as well. Even when building a relationship, is the importance of being friends, legitimate friends with that person, being able to open up to that person, share things with that person, trust that person. I mean, that's important within a relationship too. It's time, ladies and gentlemen, for a real life stories moment. When I was younger, me and my dad used to go down to Michigan football games. I used to ride down with him. And it was about an hour drive or so. So it gave us the opportunity to bond and whatnot. So, you had to find somewhere to park, and then going into the actual stadium, and just getting into the stadium. I mean, the stadium, Michigan Stadium, is huge. It's a lot of people in there, and so to this day, that's probably like the most people I've ever been around was when I was in Michigan Stadium. It's a lot of people in there, and so, it was a good experience. Before you even actually get to the football actually being played, just the whole like atmosphere and everything, and the band playing, all that kind of stuff. One player that I really remember that some people, like, I don't even know if you guys may remember him or not, but one player that I really remember, and I maybe mispronounced his name, but he had a really different sounding name. It was like Temanga Biaka-Batuka. And then he's like, Temanga Biaka-Batuka. And this dude had some speed. This dude was so fast. I mean, he had jets, he played running back. And, I think he later on in life ended up going by Tim. But his last name was definitely like Biaka-Batuka, or I don't know what his full name. He may have more names than that, but that's one dude that sticks out to me. He had a lot of jets and whatnot. Real fast person. The game that I probably remember the most is actually a game they lost. Now let me say this, they won many games, but it was this game they actually lost, and it was the Colorado game. And for some of y'all who may remember that game, let me say two words: Kordell Stewart. That was the game when Kordell Stewart threw that Hail Mary pass. So I was young when I was at that game, but like I remember it. And it was like one of those things, I didn't really know what all that happened. Because, at the end of the game, sometimes, people stand up, and when you're younger, it can make it a little bit more challenging for you to see what's actually happening. And so, it was some Colorado fans who was sitting close to us, and they cheering and stuff, and then, like, lo and behold, the rest is history. The catch was made, Colorado wins the game. And so it's like, wow, one of those things. But like I said, I mean, Michigan has won, plenty of games, and and there's been a lot of good moments, that I've seen. That's the one that sticks out though. It's just interesting. I can sit there, and if I watch that highlight on TV or something, I can be like, man, I was at that game when that happened, But it was definitely, I mean, a lot of talented players, a lot of fast players. We had really good seats too. We had good seats, and so. It was a lot of speed going on out there. In the Big Ten, they hit hard, and they be hitting hard. So, I mean, that was one part of my childhood, one part of my childhood that I really remember, that I really appreciate, is going to Michigan football games. I mean, they had some really good teams during that time. And so now I want to move over to the basketball side of things, and I want to focus on Steve Fisher basketball camp. Steve Fisher basketball camp. Steve Fisher basketball camp. So when I was younger, I also went to Steve Fisher basketball camp. For those of you who don't know, he was a former coach at the University of Michigan. He coached during the 1989 championship season. He also coached the Fab Five. So some of you may know who he is, and it was definitely a good opportunity for me. There was a lot of people down there. I mean, there's people from different areas as well. So that was cool, getting an opportunity to play against people who were from, different places. There was also some good instruction down there. So, it was different coaches down there and whatnot. So it gave me an opportunity to really improve my game. And so, that's something you want to do when you're younger. You want to improve your game. That's something you want to continue to do, is improve your game. And so, different drills. We did different drills down there. We got opportunity to like form teams and play. we got opportunity to play games and whatnot, and so it was an opportunity to really, you know, work on your game and, you know, get feedback from the people who are watching you play. So it was cool. I got an opportunity to play in different facilities. The basketball side of things was really cool, and then even the other parts of the camp. I mean, from, you know, being in the dorms. But it was cool. We got a chance to eat, you know, in the dorms and whatnot. You know, it gave you like a little taste of the college experience when you were younger. And you know, this picture I'm about to show, I've showed it in the past, but this is actually a picture with me and Steve Fisher. I remember one year Jimmy King was down there, and y'all may remember he was one of the Fab Five members, and he had gave a talk, and he was like talking to us and whatnot. And I think it was like, I think he had to go somewhere like right after he left. And so I can remember when him leaving out though, you know, different people like stuck their hands out to get a high five type of thing. You know, I remember doing that, and I remember getting a high five, and that was cool. You know, well, for him it probably was a low five where I was at, you know, sitting down. I mean, it's a lot I can say about Michigan, but sometimes people may not understand like why he like Michigan so much. I mean, it's like, you know, it's been a part of my childhood. You know, I really enjoyed going down there. I got some good memories from when I was down there. It was a good opportunity for me. And so I'm thankful for that. And it's good to see how Michigan's basketball team is doing right now. I mean, it's like, you know, they won the Big Ten regular season championship. So congratulations to that. Now, I like to see them, you know, win the national championship. I know they got close last year. I like to see them win it all this year. Like, these are two areas of focus where I think Michigan really needs to focus on, you know, and they can win it all. If you watch their team, they're a jump shooting team. So they shoot a lot of jump shots. So one of the things is they're going to really need to work on their offensive rebounding, because if you're a jump shooting team, you know, if you keep having on games, that's good, but if you have that one off game, it's going to be very important to get offensive rebounds. And they shoot a lot of jump shots, you know, and they got a lot of people who can shoot it. But by the same token, if they ever have that one off game, having those offensive rebounds is going to be very important. And then also driving to the basket. Being able to score close to the rim, that's going to be important too. If they can do that thing and continue to play how they're playing in other areas and make sure they do those two things, they really can come away with a championship. So I'm definitely going to be rooting for them. You know, I'm definitely rooting for them to do it. But it's good to see that they won that Big Ten Conference Championship, because, you know, they hadn't won it outright in like 28 years. Even the Fab Five didn't win the Big Ten Championship. But like I said, I want to see them win the national championship. So we'll see how things play out. But I want to thank you for watching episode number 97 of About 10 Minutes. Have a blessed week.